Thank you. I'm glad to be here, though it was quite difficult to be here now. I'm going to talk, my talk is not about technical, it's not technical, but about the decisions that the country has made to go towards low carbon copper production in the last few years. And what we now have is, or we will have, is this Institute of Clean Technologies. So you all know that Chile is a mining country. Last year we produced about 30%, actually 28% of the world copper. Most of the copper that we produce is concentrate, is sold as concentrate because we don't have too many smelters in Chile. And you may see the different shares of copper. This is the concentrate part. We still have some oxides, so we still are producing solvent extraction electrowinning cathodes, and just a little amount of electrorefining cathodes through the smelting process. But if you sum up the copper that we produce as concentrate and the copper that goes to a refinery, a smelting and refining, you know more or less how much copper we have for sulfide copper, so how much of the copper we produce goes through grinding and froth flotation. Yeah? Okay? We also have good participation of the lithium world production, 24% of the world production. We have a lot of lithium in the northern part of the country. Also, we have a very good opportunities to generate solar energy. We have a great solar energy potential in Chile. If you look at the map, most of the solar energy, or the best potential, is in the northern part of the country, where we happen to be, where we have all the mining activity, or most of the mining activity. So we have a high potential to integrate solar energy and mining, which is something we are trying to do since a few years now. The share of solar energy over time, mainly it's PV, photovoltaic solar energy, has increased from almost 0 in 10 years ago to 10% of the total energy produced in the country. Most of it is located in the northern part of the country. Okay, so I think it's important to have a quick view about the R&D ecosystem in Chile, because it's quite different to what you have here. We traditionally have the R&D located at the universities with little interaction with the industry. It's mainly basic research, okay? And the country doesn't spend that much in R&D, so we have, I would say, we don't have a strong investment or strong funding in R&D. That was the situation, I would say, until 15 years ago, when the government or the country decided to create R&D centers, which are funded by CONICYT, the National Commission for Scientific and Technological Research, now depending on the Ministry of Education. Okay, but although it is R&D or it's funded by CONICYT, CONICYT is mainly devoted to fund basic research. But that decision did produce a change in the country, because we went from the organization in the universities, departmental organization, disciplinary research, to collaborative centers and multidisciplinary research. So that produced a change. After that, there was a program funded by Corfo, the Chilean development agency, which is most devoted to fund programs of applied research and to develop technologies. So there was a program called the International Centers of Excellence program, in which the country put money to bring some international centers to operate in Chile and to somehow help the country to go towards applied research and developing technologies. And that produced more interaction between the universities, centers, and industry over the last few years. So that's more or less the situation. The situation before was only universities working in research. Later we had the CONICIT centers, and just to mention some of them. And to give you an idea about the funding related to the generation of these centers, we're talking about, let's say, 10, 15, or $20 million to be used in 10 years. That's more or less the size of it. We also have the Corfo centers, same numbers. CSIRO in Chile, SMI in Chile as well, Fraunhofer. All of these three are conducting research related to either mining or solar energy, and a few centers for piloting new technologies. Okay, I'm going to refer a little bit to the Solar Energy Research Center because this is very important if we talk about our pathway towards low carbon emissions in copper. Okay, the Solar Energy Research Center is one of these CONICIT centers in which participate 7 universities from the country and Fraunhofer now. It's funded by what it was before CONICIT. Now it's called the National Agency of R&D. So in this Solar Energy Research Center, I would say that we have most, if not all, the capacities of the country to develop research in solar energy. Okay, and the center has 4 strategic focuses, and one of them is the integration of solar energy in mining in Chile. So while we've done that, we just finished a study we called Carpe Solem, where we look for solar mining opportunities for Chile and listed different possibilities of integration of solar energy to the process. The focus is mainly towards grinding and flotation, the concentrated part of the process, because that's where we have the most in Chile. But what we see is that since we don't have as a country a strong collaboration with industry, it's not that easy to run pilot tests to test what we have simulated for the different alternatives. So we know that we need something else. We need to build some capabilities in the countries to go one step further and be able to test the different alternatives that we are proposing. So what I will talk about in the next few minutes is how the country has evolved as to have those capabilities. And I'll talk about the decisions and events that are affecting the mining and energy development in the country. The events are a lot of social pressure since 2008. The most important started in 2008 related to this. And after that, important decisions made by the government. In the case of energy development, we have the non-conventional renewable energies law dates back to 2008, which the country says, okay, we need to go and increase the share of non-conventional renewable energy. That happened the same year that we had this very big conflict related to the installation of an hydroelectric power plant in the southern part of the country, in Patagonia. That was HiTeMP-2. It was supposed to supply about 20% of the energy of the country, and it didn't happen. So it was a huge, massive protests, and even though the guys from HiTeMP-2 said, okay, if you turn on the hair dryer, that was the campaign, if you turn on the hair dryer, the whole city will get without electricity because we are short of electricity. That was the campaign. Later, 2 years later, we had another conflict. It was smaller than the one before, related to the installation of a coal power plant. So the country at some point said, okay, we need to move towards something more acceptable more accepted by the people, and started promoting the renewable energy, especially solar energy. So 2013, the Solar Energy Research Center was created. 2015, Fraunhofer came to Chile. 2015 as well, the Ministry of Energy promoted this energy policy in which they were promoting the increase again in renewable energies. And later, in 2018, the contract between Corfo and SQM was renewed. That is important because SQM is one of the companies producing lithium in the country, and they had to renew the contract because that was expected to happen that year. And when they renewed it, Corfo managed to get enough funds to generate a new institute. So from this contract, we get the money to create the new Institute of Clean Technologies, which was announced last year. And this is an important institute because it's 10 times what we had before. We're talking about $200 million to be spent in 10 years. So it's massive compared to what we had before in Chile. Regarding mining more or less the same. We have some CONICIT centers. We have CSIRO and SMI now installed in Chile, working in conducting research in mining. Some mining policy being discussed, especially a technological roadmap that includes the production of what, as they call green copper. And we also have these national centers for pilot testing, a couple of them created also by Corfo. So Corfo knows that we need to go towards this, to create new capabilities to go a step forward in the research that we've been doing and trying to bring or generate these new technologies. Again, it's important. It's the same as I said before, the Corfo SQM contract and the creation of the Clean Technologies Institute. So if you look to the timeline, we have this evolution from the creation of collaborative research centers. Later, we bring to the country international centers of excellence, and there is a public policy active discussion in energy and mining in the last years, so we end up having this big announcement of the creation of the Institute of Clean Technologies. This, I took it from Corfo directly. This is what Corfo said about the Institute of Clean Technologies. It's more or less, basically, take advantage of the unique opportunity of the country to make a significant contribution in the fight against climate change, supplying key materials and components for the new clean technologies industry. This is what is expected to happen in the new institute: industrial research and technological development, provision of technological services to industry, knowledge dissemination, innovative technology implementation, promotion of entrepreneurship and technology-based innovation. The The next one is very important, generation of information to support regulation and public policies, and human capital training in collaboration with national and international education entities. The main areas, technological areas where the Institute is supposed to work are solar energy, sustainable mining, and lithium-based advanced materials. In the case of sustainable mining, new low-emission mining and metallurgical processes are expected to be developed there, as long as sustainability of non-metallic industry, lithium, traceability of greenhouse gas emissions. So what's next? The call for proposals closes by the end of March. I don't know if they're going to extend that because of the circumstances, maybe. And the results are expected to be known in May. So with this institute, I think the country, Chile, is going to have new possibilities for international collaboration at an interesting scale. I mean, the collaboration with the local industry. The institute is, I think, is going to have a huge impact on the local R&D system. We don't have anything like that there, and we think it's going to be a challenge for the universities to adapt to this big new brother that we're going to have. But we will adapt. We will take advantage of this because we know that this is an important step towards low-carbon copper production. As I said before, and I have one more slide, only one more slide. As I said before, all this has happened because of a combination of social pressure and public policy and good decision from the government. So, as you may know, we have a lot of social pressure now in Chile. So that makes me at least believe that we will keep moving towards the right direction, because among what the people are asking in Chile, among several things, sustainability is a big demand in the country now. So let's hope for a better and cleaner future, especially in the case of Chile, that we are, as you can see there, that was a picture of a big demonstration last year, at the end of last year. So, thank you.